on the voice or on the telephone.
And for what case is this for?
This is for the West case. Well,
The
apparently,
Orson West, the boy.
yes.
Okay.
Apparently, there's an order saying you can only record, we can only release the opening arguments, the closing arguments, and the verdict, but everything else we can listen to, we just can't restream. So they all these roaches came charging into my room. Of course, I didn't believe them because naturally I just called the courthouse. They walked me through and set all this stuff up with me. So naturally, I'm not listening to these roaches.
Uh-huh.
And of course, them coming in and screaming at me. They do that all the time. So I wouldn't listen to them anyways because of their conduct.
Uh-huh.
Well, I called out of the courthouse because right when I started streaming, it was going into the lunch break. So I called out of the courthouse again. And it sounded like the lady that walked me through all this that I spoke to that picked up the phone. And she's like, and she was really sweet. And she's like, I really need to get you to the right person. So I think she realized that she might have provided me inappropriate information. I don't think it was her fault, but still it's something for everybody to be upset with.
So the information is out there for the public. But no individual can share it? Is that what you're saying to me?
We can all watch it independently. We just can't restream.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, so if I went to the site right now, I can watch and listen to everything. I just can't watch and listen to you play it.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
I got you.
So it's a really stupid rule. I mean, honestly.
When did that, when can they I guess they own the rights to the audio. I guess it's the
No, it's
property.
not that. It's just a court order. It's up to the judge's discretion, but every order they were giving me just basically said it was up to the judge's discretion, and the judge was playing it, so I assumed that was his discretion. He's obviously
Wow,
playing.
that's a weird rule, man. I never heard nothing that's out in the public that you can share.
Right.
I mean, did you listen to it and talk about it? Could you verbatim go listen to it and then recite it?
Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, I get not sharing it, but could you listen to it and come back and tell your viewers, hey, this is what's going on?
I'd be sitting there with an earpod in my ear, giving a play-by-play, and it'll be all above.
Well, I ain't saying complete, but just in general, you can listen to it and tell your viewers. They don't have a problem with people doing that, right?
Right. Well, it doesn't matter whether they have a problem with it. All that matters is what's in that court order. And so the courts. I called the court, so they sent me the court order directly. And since, of course, me telling everybody that we're going to be doing live coverage on Monday. Even my mods are like, don't restream that. I never said I'm restreaming, but we are doing live coverage of the case. So everybody's assuming that I'm going to break the rules and start playing the channel. But I'm a very clever, person.
Yeah, I used to do play-by-play for the UFC fights back in the day, and I never showed the fights. I just figured people were watching the fights, and I was just talking through it.
Right.
So I mean, that's weird. I thought when it was out in public that you could share anything out in the general public.
Right, but that's why everybody's so mad. If you're asking me why everybody's so hot, it's because of that. It's because
I didn't even hear about that one, man. Really. What I heard about was something about kids being. You said something about kids or something.
No,
young kids.
I can't help
murderers.
I can't help the facts. So here's what it is: the Marion 3. It's sad to say that the victims of that, the 3 people that died, they were all 6 of them were part of this band of kids that were robbing people.
Mm-hmm.
And one set of kids turned on the other set of kids, and it's upsetting to me because it seems like the set of kids that got executed, pending the identity of the third male, because they never released the third male, appears that all the white kids in this band of 6 were gunned down by the black kids. And I'm sorry, it's an obvious. There's no. We weren't ready to make these facts up.
No, but so what? I mean, here's the thing on laws: if you're charged as a juvenile, as an adult, you commit a crime, you're charged as an adult. Can they not execute you, give you the death penalty in this country? I'm not positive of the law myself. I'm saying if you're charged as an adult, I know as a minor they cannot give you the death penalty, but if they charge you as an adult, could they give you the death penalty or just life in prison?
Yeah, it depends on the age of the child, if I remember. There's some kind of a Supreme Court decision that came out that said it was unconstitutional to give a child the death penalty. So it really depends on their age. So what you see is most of these kids that commit these violent crimes.
But once you say you're charging somebody as an adult, they're no longer a child.
But it still has the Supreme Court's based on age, not
Even though they committed the crime as a minor, they're charged as an adult, they still hold them as a minor as in life in prison.
Yeah. There was some sort of Supreme Court decision. I can't remember which one, but I remember when it.
So you weren't saying. I mean, I know they hate telling me but you were just saying these bad kids, they deserve the death. That did these things deserve the death penalty, basically.
They deserve the death penalty, and I was very cautious and said, I don't want.
How old are the kids? I have no clue. So
the oldest child is 17 years old. The oldest victim is 17.
Oh, that's an adult in most states. You in the South, 16, you an adult. You go to prison.
One of the assailants was only 12.
Okay, yeah, you don't execute that kid.
All right, so where was this at?
Marion County,
Well,
Florida.
17 to me, 17 in some states you're legal, you can get married, all kinds of shit. You're a grown man at 17, you know right from wrong. You know, I think at that age, at that age, if you're charged as an adult, you know what I'm saying? If I sat on your jury and you was facing a death penalty and you did something heinous, you know, depending on the circumstances, you know.
Yeah. And
But
then,
I would say at 17, you know right from wrong.
and of course, there's still underage kids with the Trump case too.
But definitely no, you know, kids that, you know, when they're young, their brains ain't completely developed. They can be misguided, misled. You know, there's a lot of reasons you probably shouldn't execute young offenders, you know. But there's in this world we live in, there is some young people, especially when you get to teenage ages like 16, 17, that do some of the most heinous, crazy shit. And, you know, as a society, what do we do with that? Because you're 2 years older, we can give you the death penalty. Or put you, I just say, you know, life in prison for people under 18. You know, you're just never going to get out. You know, as far as executing a lethal injection, probably not. Save that for people that are over 18 that commit crimes. But I don't know. You caught some heat for that one. I see a lot of people talking about that one. I wasn't completely sure what the case was about and what he was referring to.
Well, it also might be the Trenton case because all the kids, that's the Glenn County, Georgia, where I just came from Leilani, but before that I went to Glenn County. And that one was with all the kids. There was a house, like a party house, and they tortured this boy. And the kids haven't been arrested yet they have videotape of this kid being taped to a chair, urinated on, spray painted.
Oh, yeah, I saw
that.
I see that too.
Wow.
It's not far from me. It's only about an hour and a half from me.
You know, the one thing that's really bad is that the young people that do go into prison and do get out, once they have that violent experience, right, they go into a violent environment and then they come out and sometimes they're even worse than they were. Because, you know what I mean? It's just, it's almost like there's not a win-win there at all.
No, it's that going to prison. Now, granted, I do believe there are just some people that are, you know, don't need to be around society, but I don't think that heavy punishment should be for everybody. And me personally feel that judges should have to go to prison in order to provide that kind of sentencing because they don't know what they're providing to people. And, you know, some petty crimes are getting 10 years. And to me, that is institutionalizing somebody. You've got a petty crime, and now you're going to make a hardened criminal out of this person, as opposed to getting them the help they need. Are they having financial problems? Do they have a drug problem? Do they have a mental problem? And I don't think that the prisons are for everyone. And I'm sorry, that's how I believe.
Well, I mean, we can go into the same kind of scenario with kids too, because it depends on the kid's upbringing, what kind of environment they were created in. You know what I'm saying? Their parents, and then their actions. We gotta judge these kids that do horrible things on a little bit on their upbringing, like what made them be the little monsters that they are. You know, and there's reasons for it. All kids, I don't think a kid is born bad. You know what I'm saying? I think a kid can take a bad path. You know what I'm saying? But I think with the right people and the right love and the right people around any kid, they will do great in life. More than you need anything in this world is love. If you got somebody that cares about you, you'll be fine.
It's because of my euthanization comments. So I basically said that I was talking about the kids, and I basically said there are kids and adults that are too violent for saving. That they need to be, you know, that just like caged dogs, you know, you have dogs that are vicious.
But when you say kids,
ourselves, and
when you say kids, that ain't the adult mind. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're a kid that is an adult age kid, you know, a young adult, then yeah, I get it. But saying kid itself is saying that this mind is not fully developed. For me, that's what a kid is. It's a person that his mind is not fully developed.
Yeah. When it comes to these children, there are some kids that are just horrible, rotten apples. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and kowtow to, a PC or a bleeding heart. I'm talking about violent people that take another life that had no consequences or no conscience of taking another person's life. They will never be the same again. You got Aiden Fauci. Do you think that boy will ever be able to walk among us? Of course not.
No.
There are just some children out there that are truly pure.
We had that girl 104 times. That was so horrible. That was so horrible. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I get it. And I see where people would be upset about what you're saying too. You know, it's one of those double-edged swords. Yeah, crime in this country is bad. There are some really horrible, horrible kids doing really, really horrible things. But the key word is this. Are they kids or are they adults? If they're kids, we don't euthanize kids. We try to fix our kids.
Yeah,
If
I
they're
just
adults,
euthanize them. I just said
if they're adults,
We're stuck with
we treat them like adults and they get the punishment that adults get. That's just how I feel about it. You know.
We also have to remember some of these kids are gang affiliated. These kids are, some of these kids come from different countries. They don't think anything twice about robbing, R-ing, or killing someone. And I'm sorry, you can't.
Some of these kids don't know no better, though. Some of the kids don't know no better because it's all their whole life is kind of this. You know what I'm saying? They're growing up in a world that we don't understand.
But we can apply that same standard to adults because they came from childhood, right? They had a childhood. This is all they know. They were taught this. I mean, we can apply that to everybody, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of kids out there that have horrible environments, horrible homes, and they're not out murdering people or torturing people.
Right.
No.
Yeah. And I think there's a certain age that you ain't a kid anymore. You know what I'm saying? But that age is not, that's in the late teenagers. Once you hit 16, 17 years old, I think of your decisions. You made adult decisions. You should pay adult consequences. Any younger than that, let's put you in some juvenile stuff. Let's get you some help. Let's try to fix you.
Right.
Kind of situation,
And I'm all about getting them before they get to that point. But it's unfortunately, we have to be realistic. I'm a realistic.
Yeah, I just think this. You can take the worst kid on this planet and you can put that kid around good people and a lot of love, and that kid will turn out to be a good kid.
There are cases that would happen, just like vicious dogs. There's cases where you can retrain a vicious dog. And
I think that's what people are mad at you about, Betty. You're like comparing kids to dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's a big jump to dogs. People, there's a big jump there.
We're all animals. We're all mammals. We're no different.
I get it. I get that. But that's like.
They'll twist my words around, and I stand by what I say. They're my statement. What is Turtle Island? I'm still on Turtle.
That's what get voted off. I mean, you're still there for now.
Hey, look at you guys. Hey, look at you. It was fun to be on the island.
You might win season 3. I don't think you're getting this one.
You know what? People are going to find a way to be mad at me, but I'm always going to speak my truth, and nobody's going to change who I am as a person. I love people, but I take a realistic approach to things. Some people can be upset, and I know Dolly does too. Dolly, every now and again, he does something that gets him in a little bit of hot water, but it goes along with that. I mean, you're not going to agree with your creator 100% of the time, all the time. It's just an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah, occasionally I'll say something stupid.
Right.
Occasionally.
What are you trying to say, Dolly?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm staying out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying out of it. I'm staying out of it.